Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be discussing how to know if your level is properly calibrated or for some reason it's no longer calibrated the way it needs to be. What we're going to discuss first is we're going to discuss whether or not your level is plumb. Now there are two different terms. There's plumb and there's level. When I hold it up against a vertical structure, I know that that's plumb. If I hold it up against a horizontal structure, then I'm going to refer to that as level. Two separate terms should be kept separately. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check our level for plumb. We hold it up against a structure. You can hold it up against any structure as long as it is relatively plumb already. You know that it sticks straight up and down. That'll probably work. What we're going to do is we're going to check the level with itself to see if it is calibrated correctly. Come in close if you would please. I want to direct your attention to this lower bubble. You'll see that this bubble is directly centered between the two lines. All right? So it's telling me, at least this one bubble is telling me, that this 6x6 is in fact plumb. But we're going to check it with the other bubble at the top of the level. Look up there. It is reading the same. It's saying that the bubble is between the two lines, so it's saying that it's plumb. Now what this is telling me is that these two bubbles are reading the same. So at least we know they're not different from each other. When you see that, it's pretty safe to assume that it is plumb and it is calibrated accurately, but we don't want to guess. We want to know for sure. So in order to check that, what we're going to do is we are going to invert the level, swap it end for end, put it back in the exact same location, and check the bubbles again for plumb. So if you put it right back there, you will see that the bubble once again is directly between the two lines, as it should be. And if you go to the top, you will see that it is directly between the two lines as it should be as well. That tells me that this level is reading plumb. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check our level against a horizontal structure, and we're going to check it for level. So I'm going to lay it down in the center of this 2x6 and butt it up against the 6x6. It's important to know when you're checking a level against itself that you always put it in the exact same location as you did the first time. Otherwise, it may not read accurately. So, now that we have it down where we want it, we're going to check the bubbles again. We're checking the level bubbles. You can see right here that the bubble crowds the line on the right just a little bit. Let me see if how can you read that? The sun messing that up?
A little bit.
Okay, so you can see that that bubble crowds the line to the right just a little bit. Let's check this other bubble. You'll see there that the bubble crowds the line to the right just a little bit as well. Now what that tells me is that this horizontal 2x6 slants just a little bit, all right, because both of these are reading the same. So again, it's safe to assume that they are both level, but we don't want to assume. Let's make sure. What you'll do is you will swap end for end again. Put it back in the exact same location and recheck the bubbles. Now, what I'm seeing here is I am seeing that this bubble is reading just crowding the line to the right just a little bit, just as it did before. And if you come over to this one, it actually appears to be centered. It's not crowding the line to the right, which tells me that this bubble needs to be adjusted just a little bit. So what I would do at this time is I would take out a pencil or I would take out a marker, and I will put an X or some kind of an identifying mark on this level here so that I know next time I'm using this level that this particular bubble cannot be trusted. You ask me, how do you know that it's this particular bubble? Let me tell you how I know. Because this bubble reads the same whenever you swap it. But this bubble reads differently whenever you swap it. So the key here in checking a level or checking to see if it's plumb is inconsistency. If there is any form of inconsistency in the location of your bubble in relation to those two lines, then your level is not calibrated correctly and you need to be very cautious. Otherwise, you could go on, build an entire structure, and it could all be wrong because your level is out. So keep that in mind because, like I said, the level can be a carpenter's best friend or worst enemy. It all depends on if it's calibrated or if it's not. Thank you again for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it, and we'd love to hear back from you. Thank you very much.